What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Rockets Daily, episode 98, brought to you by Fan Arts. My name is David Delano. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether this is your first time, your 98th time. Hopefully, it's not your last time. Go ahead, subscribe. We'd appreciate That's all that we ask for. And if you enjoy the content, let a Rockets fan know about it, let an NBA fan know about it, and go ahead and leave a comment. Love the discussions. Had some great discussions in the comments yesterday. Let's go ahead and keep that going. I appreciate each and every one of you who's here right now. And you can also follow me on X at Get Sports Strong. Let's go ahead and get into this win. Finally got off the mini losing streak to two good teams, two playoff teams. One great team in the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then followed that up with the loss to the Detroit Pistons. Little two-game losing streak, which throughout the season, every team in the NBA is going to lose two games in a row at some point. Hopefully now this is the beginning to a dominant, long winning streak and a successful season. So, as far as what happened yesterday, got the dominant 137 to 109 win over the Brooklyn Nets, and get a team credit for handling their business in that game, because we definitely would have been frustrated if that was a loss. Never want to take winning for granted. Never want to take winning for granted in the NBA. But just as we stated, we know that every team in the NBA is going to lose two straight games at some point this season. Everybody's going to win a game. And this is a game that when we looked at the schedule, third game of the season at home, no one had this penciled in as a loss. In fact, the Rockets were a 15.5-point favorite. That was really the only question, whether or not the Rockets would cover, and we wanted them we wanted to see more people play, wanted to see the bench emptied, which we did. I gave out the prediction yesterday. I said, well, the Nets, I think they'll keep it within 15 points. They did not. And let's go ahead and dive into this one just a little bit deeper here with this Rockets dominant win. Now, I did mention yesterday, and one thing to keep just kind of keep in mind, this is a Brooklyn Nets team, 0-4, dead last in the NBA in defensive efficiency. So as expected, best offensive game of the season so far for your Houston Rockets, shooting 57.6% from the field to 47.7% for the Nets. Nets did knock down 15 threes, 37.5% shooting. Rockets 50% from three-point range, going 16 for 32, including a 0 for 4 night from 3 for Kevin Durant, but still strong night for Kevin Durant, 19 points in 25 minutes. Did a lot of the ball handling in this game. And there's the individual numbers for the Rockets. Tari Eason, really nice to see after struggling on the offensive end, having a very limited contribution on the offensive end in the first two games. Just 3 for 11 from the floor and 1 for 5 from three-point range through the first two games, with 7 points combined. To have a nice breakout game here, 8 for 12 from the floor, 5 for 7 for 3. 22 points for Tari Eason with 5 assists and 5 rebounds. And also nice to mention that he did not turn the ball over, so that was nice to see. And then also for Reed Shepherd overall to be able to put together a 15-point, 8-assist game for Reed. Reed is someone that, hopefully, even against the Brooklyn Nets, hopefully this is a confidence builder, step in the right direction. Team was +9 with Reed on the floor, was +21 with Tari Eason on the floor. And, Steven Adams' first game of the season, Steven Adams didn't start, but did play 16 minutes off of the bench, only attempted one shot, but still grabbed 8 boards, and the team was +20 with him on the floor. As far as plus minus goes, leader for the game was Amin Thompson with +33. He had 12 points. You guys can look at the box score. You guys can see, but overall dominant win for the Houston Rockets. And, Brooklyn Nets, rebuilding team, a little bit of a tanking team, maybe a team that just team that's just not very good. Maybe a team that had too much fun in Houston and all the night before, and all of the above. I don't know. Maybe after that loss to the Spurs, who knows? They I don't know, did brunch or whatever. Cam Thomas, after a 40-point night, or 40-point day, I should say, against the Spurs the day before, was held to just 9 points against Houston in this game. And beyond just the box score, one of the Rockets, the only Rocket prop that I had yesterday was Josh Okogie to get over 7 points, and he finished with 10. But it just continues to be extremely efficient, playing strong defensively, doing the things right that don't always appear in the box score. I mean, very efficient. Hasn't shot the ball a lot, but he's taking good shots, good open shots. When he's not open, he makes the right decision, makes the right read. He doesn't try to force anything. Definitely a team player, someone that that stuck around a long time on the free agent market, and there were a lot of you guys who were excited about it. Some others who were maybe a little bit indifferent, and some people that really didn't know his game as much. And I was familiar with his game, but I am more impressed with seeing so far with this Rockets team through the first 3 games. I like how he's fitting in, and maybe a little bit of a blessing in disguise with Dorian Finney-Smith not being ready just yet. We're getting to see what Josh has been capable of. So very nice game for him. No turnovers, which you love to see in 31 minutes. So that was excellent. Rockets with only 9 turnovers overall, compared to 12 for the Brooklyn Nets. So nice win. So we played the worst defensive team in the NBA. Maybe the worst team in the NBA, but still nice to go ahead and get the victory. We'll see how the Rockets follow up with this. So far, and I mentioned, Brooklyn Nets dead last, 30th on defensive efficiency. Rockets so far 12th on the defensive end, but just 24th on the offensive end. But definitely I'm going to see, we need to see, and I'm expecting those numbers to trend upward as we keep on playing. As far as the comments, I appreciate each and every one. Mark Richards, appreciate the comment, brother. You said, since I made the comment about Cam Whitmore, he's producing for Washington now. Tari doesn't want to play for Ime. Remember, Cam and Tari are boys. Well, always appreciate the comments. We'll see. As far as Cam producing in Washington, he had a nice first game. He said through the first 3 games, 10.7 points per game and a couple blow-ups, mini blow-ups. There was another comment here that I loved, as far as going down a little bit, as far as a few different comments about him being mad because he was supposed to start and he's not starting. And then also a comment about loving to see Cam's passion because it shows that the game's not fixed. We'll see. Time will tell with Cam Whitmore. As far as because Cam, when he did get on the floor in Houston, he did show that he could score. It's already been a little bit up and down through the first 3 games, so how much he's producing, we'll definitely see. As far as if Tari wants to play for Ime or not, I definitely hope that he does. And really, this was going to be one of those comments. We'll just kind of see how it ages, because Tari obviously had a great game yesterday, but we also got to keep in perspective, it was the Brooklyn Nets. Still high on Tari overall. I really am. And it's early in the season. Like I said, it's only 3 games. But, we're going to talk about it because all we really have is, the present. So we've seen Tari struggle a little bit here through the first 2 games against 2 good teams. And we saw him have a great game against a bad team. So thank you for the comment. We'll definitely see what happens there. Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore, even, Cam Whitmore now from a distance, somebody that we're going to be following. And I was going to be in Houston in the not too distant future there. So as far as other comments, Rockets did not end up losing to the Nets, so that was nice. SB Breezy reactions, which had the 639 mark yesterday. I said, so holding a team under 120 is great defense in today's game. I did go back and look at that. I didn't necessarily, I appreciate the comment, I didn't exactly find that part, but as far as, I don't know, sometimes to talk a lot on here, I do think that there's definitely been a lot more points scored in the NBA, but the Brooklyn Nets team Worst. If I said anything positive about the Brooklyn Nets defensively, which I don't think they did, I did. But if I did, obviously it's the worst defensive team in the NBA. So that is anything that I mentioned as far as when it came to the Brooklyn Nets defense is on the negative. So just appreciate all of those things. Rockets blew the Nets out as they should. Definitely still, seen some comments as well as far as still want to see this team establish a ball handler, a consistent ball handler. As far as Kevin Durant, we'll see how much who else is going to step up in that regard. Just a couple other small points about the victory. I want to kind of point out there. It was nice to see Aaron Holiday get on the court for 7 minutes, go 2 for 3 from the floor with 5 points. J.D. Davison, 7 minutes as well, finished with 3 points. But it was nice to see him get on the court, and also Jashawn Tate with 4 points in 7 minutes. It was nice to see him get on the court, and Tate did not play at all in the preseason. Someone in the comments as far as a guy that wondering, nice to see him still here. Some people surprised he's still here. Some people forget that he's still here. So it was nice to see Tate get on the floor. It was nice to see Jeff Green get on the floor. So really it was a nice to see everybody be able to get their feet wet and play, and hopefully we'll see this momentum carry over to Toronto, which is going to be the next challenge for this team. You got a Toronto Raptors team that is 1-3. Obviously, going to Toronto, going on the road in the NBA, always tough. But the Toronto Raptors so far in their last game overall, they did come away with they lost 121. Actually, lost 121 to the Spurs on Monday night. So they're coming off of a big loss. They lost to the Dallas Mavericks. Prior to that, 139 to 129. So this Toronto Raptors team, they're doing the Texas Triangle, even though this one is going to be played in Toronto, and they're going to be looking to come away with a win. RJ Barrett leading the way so far for the Toronto Raptors this season, along with Scotty Barnes. And I'm looking through the stats through the first 3 games. Not looking at the updated stats I haven't really dove into that Toronto Raptors San Antonio Spurs game just yet. So we had Barnes, Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett leading the way through the first 3 games for the Toronto Raptors, who are a team that a lot of people had pegged, as I know Kendrick Perkins mentioned it. And who was Kendrick Perkins beefing with about the Toronto Raptors, which I thought was completely ridiculous. I think Kendrick Perkins said they're going to be a 6 seed. Somebody said that they wouldn't. I'm going to have to go look back at that. Everybody beefing now. Sports commentators, the whole Cat Williams thing popped everything off. And now guys are beefing with each other over one person saying that the Raptors won't make the playoffs and somebody saying that the Raptors should be a 6 seed. Absolutely ridiculous. But this is the Toronto Raptors. A little bit of a dangerous game, I think. I mean, Toronto, they haven't been impressive so far, but they definitely have talent on that team. And this is not a game that the Rockets should overlook. Really not in a position to overlook anybody. So that game at Toronto is going to be on Wednesday night. And that's going to close out the month of October for the Rockets. And they got a tough game going to Boston, return game for Udoka. And the reason I say tough game against Boston got off they got their first win against the Pelicans. That's a Boston team that's just 1-3, but I know a lot of people are counting them out, but I think that they're going to be tough, and I definitely think that they're going to get up to play that game. And then next Monday at the Toyota Center against the Dallas Mavericks. Expecting a great crowd there. Game the Rockets should win. Memphis Grizzlies on the road on Wednesday, and then, all leading up to the NBA Cup against the San Antonio Spurs. So it would be nice to see build on this winning streak, win these next 4 games at least. That Spurs game is going to be tough, but win these next 4 games. That would be nice. Go into that NBA Cup on a nice 5-game winning streak. I do think, though, I do think that we're probably going to drop one of these next 4 games. If I had to predict it, well, maybe the team gets up for the Celtics game. I don't think we're going to lose at Toronto. I really don't, but still a little bit of a dangerous game. Grizzlies shouldn't lose that game. But I do think that there probably is going to be one stumble here. But it would be nice. It would be really, really nice because they're definitely all winnable games. Definitely going to be favored in each of those games. But one game at a time. And what's next? What's next in front is the Toronto Raptors. Like to see the team get to 500. Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, nice to get that first win of the season. Never want to take anything for granted. But like I said, first game of the season, lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Sky wasn't falling. Weren't going to overreact to that one. Nice win against the Brooklyn Nets for what it is. But also appreciate the win, but not going to overreact. We got 79 more games in the regular season to talk about, and hopefully well beyond. Thanks so much for watching Rockets Daily. If you haven't subscribed, definitely would appreciate it if you do so. Be safe out there on the streets. All road rage things going on, man. Always live to fight another day. Be good to each other, man. Never let a couple seconds of instincts, man, affect the rest of your life. So God bless everybody. Thanks so much for watching Rockets Daily. I'll see you tomorrow.